Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to Crime Films, where we explore the dark and disturbing stories of true crime. In this episode, we will count down 3 horrific crimes that shook America in the late 20th and early 21st centuries. These crimes involved mass murder, terrorism, and serial killing, and left a lasting impact on the nation's psyche. Let's begin. Number 3, the Oklahoma City bombing.
It seemed like war yesterday. The reinforcements showed up tonight. At the center of it all, of course, is the bombed-out shell of the federal office building, and in its shadow, the exhausted, who for a day and a half now have sifted through its debris and counted its dead and seen up close why they call it terror.
It's like a garbage pile. It's unbelievable. And everywhere you dig, you find somebody. Everywhere.
It's a very slow, tedious process of removing the debris and extricating the fatalities and searching for survivors. You know, you hope and you pray that every time you turn a stone, there'll be a survivor somewhere. It hurts deep down as to why someone would do something of this magnitude. It's unreal.
It hurts down deep for everyone here. The curious now have come to see it for themselves, and still those who hold out hope come too, even though there is so little hope left.
On April 19th, 1995, a truck bomb exploded outside the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, killing 168 people and injuring over 680. It was the deadliest act of domestic terrorism in U.S. history. The bomber was Timothy McVeigh, a Gulf War veteran who harbored anti-government sentiments and sought revenge for the 1993 Waco siege and the 1992 Ruby Ridge incident. He was assisted by Terry Nichols and Michael Fortier, who helped him acquire and assemble the explosives. McVeigh was arrested shortly after the bombing and convicted of 11 federal offenses, including the use of a weapon of mass destruction. He was executed by lethal injection in 2001. Nichols was sentenced to life imprisonment without parole, and Fortier received a 12-year sentence for cooperating with the authorities. The Oklahoma City bombing shocked the nation and raised awareness of the threat of domestic extremism.
Maybe one of the benefits of me talking to you today is that you'll see that maybe not everything is true that you've heard about me.
For example, what's not true?
Well, am I pure evil? Am I the face of terror sitting here in front of you? Or am I able to talk to you man to man?
Most people in this country think you are the face of evil, don't they?
They do. But sitting down here now, and let me make clear, I'm not sitting here trying to influence you, and I'm not putting on a game face. I'm not conning anybody. I'm just being me.
Number 2, the Manson Family murders.
Weird homicide.
In a scene described by one investigator as reminiscent of a weird religious rite, 5 persons, including actress Sharon Tate, were found dead at the home of Miss Tate and her husband, screen director Roman Polanski. Miss Tate, who starred in Valley of the Dolls, was 8 months pregnant and was found in a bikini-type nightgown with a rope around her neck attached to the body of a man.
2 bodies inside, 2 bodies outside.
Among the other victims were Hollywood hairstylist Jay Sebring and coffee heiress Abigail Folger. Authorities would allow no one in an unofficial capacity inside the posh $200,000 home in the hills overlooking Los Angeles. When police arrived, they found the telephones and electricity lines cut. The bodies had been dead about 12 hours. They were discovered this morning by a maid who ran screaming to neighbors. One officer summed up the murders when he said, "In all my years, I have never seen anything like this before."
In the summer of 1969, a cult led by Charles Manson committed a series of brutal murders in Los Angeles, California. The victims included actress Sharon Tate, who was 8 months pregnant, and 4 of her friends, who were stabbed to death at her home on August 9th. The next night, the cult members killed Leno and Rosemary LaBianca, a wealthy couple, at their residence. The killers wrote messages in blood on the walls, such as "Helter Skelter," "Pigs," and "Death to Pigs." Manson believed that these murders would trigger a race war, which he called Helter Skelter, after a Beatles song. He also hoped to frame the Black Panthers, a radical black nationalist group, for the crimes. Manson and 4 of his followers were arrested in November 1969 and convicted of multiple counts of murder and conspiracy. They were initially sentenced to death, but their sentences were commuted to life imprisonment after California abolished the death penalty in 1972. The Manson family murders terrified the public and marked the end of the hippie era.
20 years later, and they still have no idea what you're about. Tell me in a sentence who you are.
Nobody. I'm nobody. I'm a tramp, a bum, a hobo. I'm a boxcar and a jug of wine. And a straight razor if you get too close to me.
Number 1. The Beltway Snipers.
The unprecedented murder spree began last night in Wheaton. The victim, a 55-year-old man shot dead walking into the Shoppers Food warehouse on Randolph Road. The murder captured on a surveillance camera. 13 hours later at Rockville Pike and Nicholson Lane, a landscaper is shot and killed. It's 7:41 a.m. Half an hour later, a cabbie is shot dead at this mobile gas station on Connecticut Avenue at Aspen Hill Road. 25 minutes later, a little more than a mile away at Leisure World, a woman is murdered while sitting on a park bench in front of a post office. A witness to this shooting tells police he saw 2 men flee in a white delivery truck. Unbelievably, while the Montgomery County Police Chief and Deputy State's Attorney arrive at the gas station in Aspen Hill, the killer targets another woman at a Shell gas station on Connecticut Avenue in Kensington. Paramedics rush to the scene but cannot save the woman's life.
In October 2002, a pair of snipers terrorized the Washington, D.C. area, killing 10 people and injuring 3 in random shootings. The snipers were John Muhammad and Lee Boyd Malvo, who drove a modified Chevrolet Caprice with a hole in the trunk that allowed them to fire a rifle without being seen. They chose their targets at random, shooting people who were going about their everyday lives, such as pumping gas, shopping, or reading a book. The attacks caused widespread fear and panic and disrupted schools, businesses, and transportation. The snipers also taunted the police and the media with phone calls and notes, claiming to be God and demanding money. They were eventually captured on October 24, 2002, after a tip from a witness who saw their car at a rest area. Muhammad was convicted of 10 counts of murder and sentenced to death. He was executed in 2009. Malvo was convicted of 6 counts of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. He later confessed to more killings in other states. The Beltway Snipers case was one of the most notorious serial killing sprees in American history.
Man who terrorized the entire Washington region for nearly a month.
I mean, I was a monster. If you look up the definition, I mean, that's what a monster is. I was a ghoul. I was a thief. I stole people's lives.
Thank you for watching Crime Films. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more true crime stories. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.